Hey, I've been thinking lately about something very important about how to live a meaningful life. I've seen, with the rise of depression, suicide, especially in young people, Gen Z people, you can see that there is a crisis of meaning and purpose. And I think and I believe that partly it's because of a lie that society and the world has sold to us. Because wherever you go nowadays, you hear about self-development, self-care, self-this, self-that. It's not that inherently self-development and all these things about self are bad, but life was not made so that it can turn or revolve around you. When everything you do only turns or revolve around you, it will be meaningless. Because meaning is found in purpose. Meaning is actually a byproduct of purpose. And purpose is found in relationship and service. You cannot live your life for yourself. And trying to do that, to live in that selfish way, it's actually what leads to a meaningless life. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 16, verse 25, that if you try to hang on onto your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. There is a trap of self when everything about you is only about your happiness, my this, my this, my this. As I said, it's not that these things are inherently bad, but self-work for the sake of only yourself, it's a dead hand. Because you've heard that people say that you cannot give what you do not have. And that's completely true. But another thing is true is that you only have so that you can give. In fact, you have so that you can eventually give to others. You remember what God said to Abraham. He said, I will bless you and make you a blessing. Whenever God comes into the life of a person to bless a person or to improve the life of a person, it's because he sees other people behind that person who will benefit from the improvement of that person. So whenever you're trying to do something to develop yourself, you always have to put other people in mind for you to find a meaning to your life. The Bible says in the book of Galatians chapter 5, verse 13 to verse 14, you, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love. For the entire law is fulfilled in keeping this one command: love your neighbor as yourself. I want you to see something beautiful here. I want you to see the order in which Paul is talking here. He said, you must love yourself. You must have a healthy self, a healthy love for yourself. But the purpose is then to channel that into loving and serving others. He said, love yourself. But for what? So that you can love others as well. He said, love your neighbor as yourself, meaning you first need to love yourself. And that love that you have for yourself needs to be channeled into loving others. So whenever you are focused on yourself, it is so that you can channel that improvement into improving or bettering the life of other people. So the solution here is that whenever you're trying to work on yourself, you need to connect those self-work, self-development into a greater purpose than yourself. You need to think greater than yourself. Because first of all, your life is not an accident. You were created on purpose. When God created you, He had something greater than yourself in mind. I heard something beautiful recently. Someone said, you are a solution. In fact, you were born with a solution. You only need to now try to find the problem you were born to solve. You were born as a solution to a problem. You now need to find the problem that you were born to solve. So if you want to live a meaningful life, you always have to think greater than yourself. You always have to think bigger than yourself. You need to shift your mindset into how can this benefit me, into how can I be a blessing to other people, be it in your career, be it in your finances, be it in your family, or in whatever area God has put you. You always need to think, how can I use the gift that God has given me to better the lives of those around me? You see this example again. Peter said this in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10. He says, God has given each of you a gift from his great variety of spiritual gift. Use them well to serve one another. So you need to work on yourself so that you can pour into others. Whenever you are trying to take those temporary moments of self-improvement or self-development or self-care, self-healing, self-growth, you always need to put in your mind that I am growing so that I can become a blessing for others. The purpose of being filled is to be poured out. You are being filled so that you can pour out. We never feel something to just leave it, feel like this. When you fill a cup of water, it's because you want to drink. You're going to fill that cup of water again later on, but you always feel to help other people. So when you're working on developing yourself, improving yourself, if you want to make it meaningful, if you want to make your life meaningful, you always have to link it to a purpose that is greater than yourself. So God helps you to develop yourself, to improve yourself, to grow yourself so that you can become a blessing for other people. So if you want to live a meaningful life, you need to start thinking bigger than yourself. You need to start thinking bigger than yourself. As I said, you were born with a solution. You just need now to find the problem that you were born to solve. So let me give you some practical steps on how to start living this way from today. First of all, identify your gift. Nobody was born empty. We were all born with something. You need to identify your gift. Maybe on another episode, I will talk about how to identify your gift. But you need to identify, first of all, your gift. But secondly, ask key question, or ask the key question. And that question is, God, how can I use my gift to be a blessing for others? You have identified what God has given you. Now go and ask God, how can I use this gift that God has given me, that you have given me, to be a blessing for other people? And the third step, always start small. Whenever you have the revelation of the gift that God has given you, don't just start thinking millions of people being blessed by you. This is beautiful, but start small. Start with your neighbor. Start with that coworker every day that, is on your nerve, or that person that you meet every single day, that family member, your brother, your sister. Start small with one person, and even shift your prayer life. This is the fourth point. Shift your prayer life. Always pray and ask God, Lord, make me a blessing. Open my eyes to see who needs to be blessed with the gift that you have given me. Begin to think bigger than yourself, and you will see that your life will have a meaning. You will live a meaningful life. We were born with something that is greater than ourselves. And if you want to live a meaningful life, you need to connect your life to something greater than yourself. So what's your gift? What's that thing that you were born to do? And how can you use it to bless other people? So this is what I had today for you. I hope this message blessed you. Don't forget to share this, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, and to like and leave a comment, please, and share this with someone else as well. As for me, I'm going to see you again very soon for another episode. God bless you and bye bye.